Hey, 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 welcome to the Virgo channel. I'm going to do a general message for anyone that lands on it, but it's really for my winner, Tamika. I'm going to wait for her to come on. If you're here, just let me know. For those of you that are new, hey, okay, great. Thank you for understanding about me having to move the time. It's my husband's in hospice right now, so it's a balancing act. It's been a bit crazy, you know. God really does give us what we need to heal. um, so, for those of you that are new to my channel, I do shadow healing. And so it's not just about what's going on. Thank you so much. Like I said, it's been a ride. So like I always knew because I married someone older than I did than I am, but it's one thing to know and it's another thing to really know, when you're going through something. So, like I said, the universe really does give us what we need because it's made me be extra grounded. And when you're psychic, it's hard to be grounded. You're very sensitive yourself, Tamika, and that affects your relationships a lot because you're very intuitive. Yeah. So the thing is, we see what we look for. And so if you've gone through in relationships that were seen as traumatizing, then what happens is that we we feel we judge ourselves, we perceive ourselves through the experience that we live. So no, I don't know if you've been watching my channel for a while, but I always like to explain that your reading isn't just a reading, it's also like a little bit of education, because awareness is, and then integrating the spiritual lesson is how you stop karmic cycles. And you tend to, again, always be in this karmic cycle in relationship that kind of keeps you on the lower end of the scale, where you're like, okay, I don't get it because I'm an overachiever and you are, and you work hard. And right. So again, and so there's this thing of like your demands of what you want and what you believe you can have, but then you're not manifesting it. And so, and understand, it's like I said, I want to be able to, when you are done with this, for you to be able to leave and go out and to integrate the spiritual lesson so you can see a different outcome of your experiences. So it's like I said, it's not just awareness, but it's teaching you how to integrate the spiritual lesson, because shadows mean it's where you've detached. It's where you perceive that there's something wrong with you, even though you're like, I know it's not me. Like, yeah, but it's like, but why then is my life, does my life look like this? Why do I feel like I can never break out of this karmic cycle? And the karmic cycle is like just like a karmic theme. Like I always get with people that tend to act like they're going to do the right thing, but then they don't do the right thing by me. If that's the type of energy. And there is a person that's around you that has feelings, but it's also like they're not really showing it the way that you need for them to show it. So it's like, why do I always get that type of energy? Like it comes up short. That's pretty much what your spirit is saying. It's like I always come up short, though I know I'm not short. I know, if anything, again, I'm an overachiever. Like I should get, like I'm like, and I've done work on myself. This is you. And so spirit says, yeah, but you haven't fully integrated the spiritual lesson yet. It's like you can't go to like the grocery store to, to buy a beautiful gown, right? So it's almost like you're looking for a person that has high caliber. And spirit saying, so where's your passion for life? You were raised by someone that was very strict. And so you are an overachiever because they were an overachiever, but they were taught to like work, and to be a certain way and to be conscious and to be perfect and to try and be perfect. And that energy is actually, there's a lot of fear in that energy. Yeah, well, that's what it is. So that's what I'm saying. So you were raised, and so what Spirit's saying is, listen, there's a God part of self, and that there's a dust part of self. The dust part of self is when you look in the mirror, you're like, this is who I think I am. This is who Tamika thinks that she is. But God says, that's not who you are. That's a perception of who. Yeah, and she terrified the shit out of you. So understand, you want to know why. And it's not a blame game. I have to explain to you, where did the wound come from? What's blocking me? Because I'm going to ask you to do different things, right? I got to ask you to do different things to integrate the spiritual lesson. And you're not going to do those things unless I can bypass the reptilian mind. The reptilian mind is the survival mind. And that's, again, we all form habits and behaviorisms to make us feel safe, to make us, again, to live by that persona that we feel comfortable to live by. So again, integrating a spiritual wound means that you're actually uncovering not just what's blocking you, but gifts. So there's parts of you that aren't fully developed, that when you look in the mirror, you're like, this is who I perceive I am. But Spirit says there's parts of you that don't even know who you are, because when you were raised, that person told you who. And it's, again, not a blame game. She wanted you to do well. She loved you. That was what she thought was the right thing. Spirit always says, yeah, it was over. She overdid it because, again, coming from a place of fear. So whenever we do something from a place of fear, good, I'm glad it resonates. Whenever we do something from a place of fear, we never get a good outcome. It's, again, because that's not the higher self. The higher self is God part of self, which is unconditional love. That's the energy that we're made up of, which is the energy of the universe. And so Spirit's saying why you attract people that really aren't resonating with you is because you're not coming from your true self. You're coming from a version of yourself. That seems right, but where's the fun? Where's the passion? Where's the unique individuality? So what, a person comes into your life, they see that your life is perfect, they're like, okay, then you can be perfect for me, or that's what it's going to seem like. Or it's like you're going to be like, either I got to like take care of you, or I have to like, I never get what I want. That's the energy and Spirit saying, yeah, because you're not coming from your true self. So the passion for life, your unique individuality, like who you perceive you are, isn't 100%. And so you want to attract what you need to become. So the Spirit says, yeah, you, again, are very smart, savvy in your own right, like business lady, but like in your, like have your own business, that be your own influencer, be your own. And so, and God says that's a grounding thing, which means that you have to be more interactive with your public, and you have to be more interactive, and grounding is in the physical, in the here, in the now. You have to give less energy to the people that come into your life. Again, what happens with you is you either overgive or you don't give enough, and there's a sense of, it's not natural. It's crazy because I'm a life path one and north. Right, but it doesn't, and I think a lot of times, and I'm a Virgo, and if you would have followed me around, you'd be like, oh, you are not a Virgo, like you are so disorganized, and I think that sometimes we're born into things that we have to master. It's like in astrology, that's what they teach you, that you're born into the zodiac, those are the things that you're going to have to master. That yes, you may have a knack for it, and once you master it, you'll become the best at it. But there are zodiacs that you have to do. So you can be, again, a great success, but there's not enough grounding, and there's not enough belief. Like Leo is actually like courage, it's fire, it's like, and Spirit saying, where's the fire? Because the fire is the passion, and if you're expecting that person to be passion, they're going to come up short. every time, because I believe, again, like you didn't get the nurturing that you needed growing up, because it was, like I said, very strict, very regimented. See, I mean, and that, I believe, somebody that's your energy. So very business, very, but like a creative person that could have their own business to have, but you need to, like, again, walk the path. So where you're not embodying it, you need to embody like what you want to become. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. And then when you don't embody what you love, you can't block out assholes. You can't block out people that, try and steal your energy, because then your aura isn't strong enough. And the thing is, you're a strong person, and then you attract like a strong male to you, then they're going to think that they're going to tell you how things are going to be. And so then the energy gets weird because you are highly sensitive, and then you get overstimulated. And then you try to like fix it, and you're like, I don't really know how to do it because there's anxiety. And so this doesn't have anything to do with zodiacs. This has something to do with how you were conditioned in childhood. And so having to integrate the spiritual lesson means like to recondition your nervous system so that you don't care, but it's also to have like a focus that's equivalent to the passion for a person. Like, you will never be able to replace like like one passion for another. However, it's like if you have a passion that you truly, truly love, your mind, your focus, your energy, everything is on that passion, not on people, not on situations, only on what it is that you're trying to create. And that's what Spirit's saying. It's like you have like a strong being, but you're not walking the path. And because you're not walking the path, it's like you're attracting people also that are imbalanced, because like goes to like, and you're like, why do I get these people that, again, they can't step it up? And Spirit's saying, it's again because you need to step it up. You're not viewing yourself the way that I created you. Now you can ask me any questions that you want. Right now, I just always like to channel as soon as a person comes on. Well, it's again because you're sensitive, and sensitivity is a double-edged sword until you master it. So, like I said, that there's always going to be people in your environment, assholes, that try to, like, again, be triggered by you. Because listen, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're strong, you're creative, you have good energy. So there's always going to be. And you grew up with someone that didn't make you feel like you were good enough, even though she loved you. If she didn't feel like she was good enough, she tried to scare it into you. And so that was her anxiety. It's not it's we're all born into families that teach us. So it's again, we understand where it came from, and then you need to say, okay, well, how did it affect me? Well, it made my nervous system become overstimulated. So it's hard for me to shut my chatter off. It's hard for me to get out of my own way. It's like because I get overstimulated. And so Spirit's saying, well, when you're like childlike, and the Bible says be like childlike, it means that you're going out into the world and you're exploring without judgment of what anything looks like. So part of you, again, I'm telling you, like you would be a great coach, interior designer, anything creative, and to have your own business for sure. It's like you are smart enough, you are strong enough. It's to step into the whole mastery of yourself, to really love what you're doing. Then people can't distract you, because the thing is, you need a passion to fight the evils of outside. And the evils is sometimes even like a person that you're really like hot for, but you're like, okay, like this can be like on the border of obsession, right? Like when you really like someone, it's like, how do you train that person to respect you if you're always going to be there, if you're always going to care so much. That's what happens to me. You get into like areas where that happens. I've been going through some dark moments lately, and I'm trying to figure out how to ease the discomfort. Well, part of the dark moments is that you don't trust yourself. Yeah, like, well, that's the thing. It's that because you're not strong within yourself. So obsessive is actually good when it's channeled into the right thing. So if you're obsessive about the creation process of becoming yourself, well, then it's good. It happens faster. You become a magnet for those things to come into your life. See, again, when you're obsessive and you're focused on things that aren't good, which is what I'm feeling is happening, because you're like, I'm just not happy where I am. And Spirit says, well, you're just not happy with yourself. So it has to start with you. And that's to recondition the body and mind, get a better connection to the body, because God lives inside of you as a gift to the Holy Spirit. And only in the now do you get divine guidance. Meaning, like when you're interactive in life and you're creating yourself by being like child, and the Bible says, be like childlike, when you're creating yourself, well, your intuition is what's leading you. It's what you love with your heart, right? That's your passion. And then it's to be led through your gut. And then the higher self, you're very intuitive, you're very sensitive. You grew up with somebody that was like that. So you became very sensitive because you were afraid of her. And so, again, that made you intuitive and sensitive. However, that sensitivity needs to be trained now that you're going into the real world, because people are overstimulating. And when you're intuitive, you can feel what they think, and that can be triggering. So it's to be as wise as a serpent, but be as gentle as a dove. And that means you can know, but also like use that information for your best good. And you're obsessive. Your mind can't be in two places at one time. Yeah, well, that's the narcissistic marriage is kind of like that militant again, where it's perceived as this strong love because it can't come in like I'm going to take care of everything. So a person, they can be narcissistic all that they want, but if you have boundaries up, either that narcissist is going to, like, if a person has narcissistic tendencies, they're going to like see with certain boundaries that they're not going to get very far. And they're either going to leave and find an easier host to feed off of, or they're going to be like, I really truly love this person, so I'm going to try and, mirror the energy, but it's all on you. So it's, again, you're not strong with you. And that's what Spirit keeps saying. You have to get strong within yourself. Your connection to the earth, your connection to yourself, your connection to God above. It's you're not invested enough in that. And because you're not, what'll happen is that you will continually look for things unconsciously to make you feel strong. Whereas Spirit says, no, you have to, again, this is an inside job. And it's about recreating yourself, because part of you, once you go through a narcissistic marriage, let me tell you something. If you don't think that you need to recondition yourself, you're crazy, because they living with someone that where you always have to look over your shoulder. It's like, it makes you paranoid. So what happens is your amygdala actually swells, and that's where you sense out outside stimuli. That could be some sort of trauma. And then there's automatic behavior, which is, I didn't mean to do that, but I got triggered. And now I don't trust myself. And so you have to listen to me. And so you say, well, why do I have to do this? Don't get mad. God says, I give you the story of who you think you are. Then there's a real story of who you truly are. You say, well, why the hell do you do that? And God says, for my glory, we wouldn't have a relationship. You're learning. Don't judge yourself. It's okay exactly where you are. But it's to say, okay, this is my path. So maybe your path is to be a body mind coach because you have to master that. You have to show up for yourself. And it's about loving yourself first, because that root chakra is your connection to, like you said, mother and father. And we know that those roots were not really strong. So you didn't feel supported. You didn't feel strong even in yourself because you were a sensitive little girl. Spirit has been slowing me down as of late, seeing so many things differently. Well, I don't think it's slowing you down. I think it's making you wiser. I mean, learning is seeing things from a different perception. Even when we don't like it, you become wiser. And so I think that it's like things are changing. I think that you're changing. I think that you've outgrown some of the things and you're like, I don't really fit in there anymore. And Spirit says, that's okay. It's because life is all about reinventing yourself all the time and finding yourself. But if you weren't allowed to be a child, you wouldn't even know how to do that. So it's about getting a better connection to your physical body. And that's through, like, again, body, mind, breath work. And say, well, like, where am I going to do that? Well, it might start with taking a course online, like on Udemy, for $9.99. It's like where you invest in yourself. It's about you have to reparent yourself. When you reparent yourself, that's part of the integration process to heal. You're in a place of healing. That's not bad. Everybody needs to heal because everyone like outgrows whatever there is, and everybody has perceptions that change about friends, about life, and that's okay. It's just when we're not strong within ourselves, then that really makes us question. And that's why I'm saying this is all that this is. It's about getting a stronger connection. Once you get a better connection to your physical body, you get a better connection to God. Believe it or not, grounding helps you do that because only in the now do you get divine guidance. And then you see God work through you, through gut, intuition, inner knowing. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The universe always conspires to bring you what you need. You're not trying, you're not grounded. You're living in the past because of when you live with a narcissist, that's what happens. And when you, again, it makes you question yourself. It makes you not trust yourself. And it wires you. It rewires your nervous system. As I said, it swells the amygdala. So without reconditioning, you'll always feel like there's something wrong. I need something. And when you don't, and if that's what you feel, then that's what you're going to attract. And then you're going to say, well, I can't really have love. Where you can have love. The bottom line is that you don't believe that you can have love. So you're unconsciously creating it where it's a perception. If you put your pants on like a shirt, it's going to look fucked up. It's like you can do it, but it's a perception. It's like everything's a perception. And so you're locked in a perception of yourself that needs to change. But without seeing yourself differently, you haven't integrated the spiritual lesson. So you will continue to relive the lesson. Even if you say, well, I'm not going to live the lesson, I'm just going to take myself out of the game. Well, you'll still live the lesson in a different karmic theme. If it's victimization, so a guy won't do it, a girl will do it, a boss will do it. That it'll be a theme, and it's because it needs to be integrated, and it's because you have a shadow there, you have a wound there, and so it makes you feel as if you can't have it when you really can. It's just like I said. You've been going through the same things for a long time. And so that's when we really are like, no, this is really my reality. And Spirit says, no, you're omitting me from your story. And the spirit part of self is a supernatural part of self. It's intuitive. We can feel it. We can feel when somebody is knowing. We have knowing. We're like, I don't know how I knew that, but I just knew. It's felt. It's claircognizant and clairsentient, and you can't grow up the way that you grew up with the trauma and not have that. You're just making it work against you because highly sensitive people that don't master their sensitivity do become obsessive. they do become, because again, it's the way that we're wired. We're the squeaky wheel, and so we're fixers, we're healers, and so that's all that there is. It's not a problem. It's the way that you're seeing it, and it is scary. But that's like, it has to start there. And then once you're there and you're interactive in your life and feeding your life, your own intuition guides you. And then you're seeing things come, you're seeing your path unfold. And then you meet somebody from that perception. You're going to meet somebody completely different. Someone that respects you because you're respecting yourself. Someone that you're demanding that through your walk. Are you following me? And what other questions do you have? Because I feel like I'm just talking, but I'm channeling. It's information that Spirit says that you need. Sorry, I needed a drink. So that's the thing. It's like that root, once the root chakra is healed, then you can work on all. Well, listen, any person that you've been dealing with is going to be a pain in the ass because you have that wound. So you're going to be like, I know that we love each other, but it looks like this. Well, I feel like, again, it's past life karmic mate, and that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this person's going to hurt me. No, I feel like people come into our life to teach us, and they teach us, and this person does love you and does care about you, and that's what you feel, and that's what you know. However, they play games. They're not 100% strong within themselves. So that's the imbalanced energy, again, where you're like, okay, why do I get that energy? Why is it good, but then it's also not good? Like, why is it like always that? And Spirit says, because you're imbalanced. And so it's like you have to step into yourself. And so this person does care. And so, right. So it's like, and it's also about not learning how to surrender, right? It's like there is unconditional love there. However, it's not like this person doesn't trigger you. It's like, and it's not like I feel like this is your forever person either. If you're on your path, you will continue to evolve. You will continue to heal because your spirit, the universe, always conspiring to bring you what you need. So this person has an opportunity to step it up. Or again, you would attract somebody that was, again, more of a higher vibration. I feel like you are healing. So that's part of why it's scary, because you're like, okay, why are these people like were in my life? Now they're not in my life. And Spirit says, you're evolving. Certain people, we have to make room for new. Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you, Cynthia. And so it's about understanding that you're always supported, that you're always loved, but it's hard, especially if you grew up in an environment. I have a lot of people come and go, yes, that's the sense of, again, like, that's why these people come into my life. And that's what I said. And then, because as you evolve, people will fall out. That's normal. However, what makes a person stay in a person's life? Their passions, common interest. And Spirit says, where are you investing in yourself? We're going to go back to that every time, Tamika. Every time we're going to go back to that. Because relationships are something that happen over time. And slowly, trust is established over time. It's like, it doesn't mean that there aren't wounds. There are, of course, there's wounds. It's like everybody has them because everybody trusts somebody. Everyone's been hurt by family. Everyone has a story. However, when we're strong within ourselves and we have created that root chakra, that foundation for ourselves, it means that we're more connected to our physical body, more connected to the physical world, because we're invested in ourselves. So we meet a lot of different people through the fact of growing ourselves and loving ourselves. The bonus is that we meet people. It's like, oh, look, every week I go to the same movie theater, and I met Ethel, and she told me about 80 other movie theaters, and now I'm going with Ethel, and she told me about all these other, and now I met this person. You don't move you. The issue is you're like, I feel like I need to do something because that's how you were raised, where it's an unfoldment process. It's that it takes a mustard seed, God makes that multiply. It's about investing in yourself, that mustard seed worth of effort of what you love, your passion for life, so that you can, you know, connect. It was a wonder about your children. The narcissist as is their father, our relationship. Well, I feel like the truth of the matter is that he's a narcissist. I mean, but the truth of the matter is, it's like he does love his children. Um, and I think that for you, once you change you change the dynamic of that relationship. It's like narcissists always go for somebody sensitive, somebody that's, again, the cream of the crop, but doesn't think that they know that they are the cream of the crop. That's the thing. It's like you're the cream of the crop. That's how we opened up this reading. And however, you don't believe it on a soul level. So stepping into that position, it changes the dynamic because you're not going to change this person by being like, change, change. No, they're not going to do it. The more that you say it, the more that they're going to be an asshole. So you have to be like, okay, well, I'm the one that's changing and I don't really care. And that's how you become the example for your children. It's like, because telling them don't worry about it and this and that, but then them watching you being afraid isn't good. It's like you can't control this person. The relationship with our children. Oh, like, well, that's the thing. It's like, I think the relationship that he has with your child or the relationship that you have with your children. I feel like you have this, like a little bit of the same anxiety. Again, you love your children, but it's like, and you try and do right by them. 24 and 22. And hey, like, I mean, you don't even look like you can have a kid that old. But the truth of the matter is, it's like they're finding themselves. They're finding themselves. I feel like, you know, do they love you? I mean, listen, of course they do. There's a disconnect with the kids to, well, I feel like that happens when you were going through like what you were going through with, you know, the ex, right? If you're like dealing with that, you can't like really be 100% there for your children. And so, and then trying to make it work. It was that type of relationship that there was a lot of love there. It's not like there wasn't. It's just it was toxic, a little bit toxic, the dynamic of the relationship. So there would be, but the way that we have to connect to our body first. We have to heal our body first. And it's like, and I feel like your children love you. It's like, do they think that you're perfect? No. Do each one of them have issues? Yes. But guess what? Even in the best of relationship, that's going to happen. And I feel like from this day forward, it's about creating yourself. Once you heal yourself, the whole dynamic with your children will change too, because they'll watch what you're doing and the universe conspires to see, because your children want to love their mother. They want their mother in their life the same way that you want their mother, your mother in your life. Even if your mother is a pain in the ass and you're like, I don't really like her, like I wish she was nice so that I could have her in my life. Yeah, I feel like that's what you need to do. That's spirit saying like you need to go on your own healing path of healing yourself to become a coach? Because I feel like some two of your children would definitely be on board with it. Well, that's the thing. It's like that's why you know that you can't just change your job. So you have to start where you are with what you have. So that would be by creating a daily practice for yourself. I would go on like Udemy. It's an online platform. Sign up, wait for them to have the sale, 9.99. Look for like a breathwork course, look for somatic healing course, look for these courses to do at your home, because and create a daily practice. Successful people have a day before their day, and it's 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of learning, and 20 minutes of exercise. And understand that you can recondition your mind and your body. And then what will happen is you'll get inspired to do other things. Again, your spirit then will be like, hey, look, we're on Facebook and you took that somatic class. Hey, there's another class, and you'll be called to take that class. Or and then all of a sudden you'll be somewhere and that you saw through Facebook, and you'll say, well, now here I am and I'm hearing about this. And I met this person. And it's the universe conspires to bring you the people, the situations, and the experiences that change you, that mold you, that bring you exactly what it is that you need. You can't conform like you are confirming so much. I'm seeing that, and that's good because it's again, that's your higher self saying you are on the right path. And if it's resonating with you, then that's again, that's your spirit saying, I know that this is what I have to do. And that's God's way of saying, see, you can trust yourself. See, I support you. I brought you something to give you confirmation. And we have to look at those things as little wins and ask for more of them. We have to ask the universe, you got to show me another win. You have to show me another win. It's like, because I don't know if I'm on the right track. It's like, we have to ask. You have to have a conversation. Like, again, conversation with God is really that, is having faith, but then like asking, but also you have to embody what it is that you want to do, because that's going to give you the feeling, that's going to make you stay focused. Let me tell you, let narcissists, well, they can come into your life all that they want, and if you really have things which you love, it's like it doesn't matter. They can, narcissists go crazy with that. I know. I was raised by a narcissist that tried to kill me several times. I wrote a book about it, and I attracted many narcissists in my life. And trust me, when you have a passion, it's like that's because there's nothing more narcissists need your attention. They want to control, they want to dominate. So do I stop entertaining? I can't see this. I don't know why they put these emojis here. It's like, I'm like, do I stop dating entertaining day for now? Especially the present person. I think it's like you can date. You shouldn't like say yes or no. You know what I mean? I think, thank you. I'm like, it's like, I I don't think that it's a yes or no thing, because listen, you have needs. You're not you can't, I can't date. It's, and what's going to happen all of a sudden, we're going to throw you out into like the world and say, okay, now you can date after you've sat on the couch the whole time. No, it's to, if, but if you've realized that there are 8 slices of pizza in your pizza pie, and that you've been given 6 slices to this person, and you're lucky if you feel like they're giving you a 2 slice back, then you have to say, you're getting too much pizza. Too much of my pizza. And it's like, I need to go to other things that are going to give me something back. It's like, it's not an equal exchange. That's what it's about. It's like, this is what you need to do. It's like, and that's why it's not all or nothing. It's like you have to learn how to train a person on how you want to be treated. So if this person who you're like, well, I've been with him in all 80 years now and he's not going to change, well, I would again get more invested in myself. No, I can't see you tonight. Oh, I decided to join such and such. I got inspired. And obviously, I'm not going to be around for you. It's like it doesn't need to be a whole discussion. If somebody wants to, it really cares about you, they're going to come and they're going to show you. Trust me. And if you are someone that felt like that you didn't get enough love growing up, you need to see that person come actually for you. You need to be strong enough to be like, you know what? Nope, I'm cutting my energy off. It's like my energy can't be in two places at one time. It's going to be towards what I love, what I want to do, who's feeding me, who's growing me, who's inspiring me. I need to be getting something out of the deal. It's like, and it's not being selfish. You only have so much time, energy, focus, and money. Well, the thing is, it's because you're in a desert. So if there's no love, then the first thing that comes along that actually gives you attention, that shows you something that is going to be like, well, it's like, I'm going to obviously want it. Been in a desert. So Spirit's saying that's the problem. So that's why men think, well, she doesn't really value herself as much because she's not invested enough. Like, look how much time she's giving me, and I don't have to do anything for it. That's a no. That's a fuck you, no. It's like, because I'm nice, because I'm available for you, okay, less time. But if it gets to that point, it's like that, then it's like, well, this person definitely doesn't deserve, and they have to come back and show you something different. Yeah, you have to invest in yourself. God says, me first. I'm a jealous God. That's do you first. It's because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. So here it is. I give you free will, and you're going to give this bozo all this. And what are you giving us? Nothing. Are you waiting for this person to give it to us? They can't even do it for themselves. It's like, no. When meanwhile, you can do it for yourself, but you're like, but I need the love. Spirit says, when you give yourself the love, I guarantee you, I will bring you people to give you emotional support. Will it be the romance of a lifetime at first? No, God says. He says, not really. He says, because you want to meet your person in your best element. It's like that you're showing them, you think I'm always around for you? I got other options. Can't you see I'm busy with my life? Obviously, I'm not out here by myself. It's like you're not saying that to the person, you're showing them that. So again, they have to approach you even the right way. And so you attract selfish people because there's a sense of imbalance goes to imbalance. So you're kind of looking for someone to come in and like fulfill your life, where God's like, no one's going to do that. That's me first. And that it can't be a person. You can look for it in a person. You're never going to find it. It's always going to come up short. You have to, again, find it through your passion, your unique individuality. Why are you here? You're here to give and receive of love. And that's your free will, what you choose. It's up to you, what you choose. You got to be like childlike to find it. And you have to put a mustard seed's worth of effort every day in order to see it. And then the universe conspires to bring it to you. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. And it's like, and it's not because it's not, it's because you're unconsciously looking for someone to do that. So, and it's not because you're selfish, but that's going to eventually be like, I only attract selfish people, so I don't really believe that I can have love. And then Spirit says, we go back to that again, where you don't really believe that you can have love, and that's not true. It's like you should give yourself the love. Right. And I know that's why Spirit's saying it's like, do that, and that's how you train your person. That's how you become a muse. Because you think that most of these fellas out here know like what to do. They're like, a lot of them don't. Right. And when you abandon yourself, the people in your life abandon you. Like they'll be like, I was always there for that person, and they're not there for me. And Spirit says, you first. This way, no one will abandon you. That certain people abandon you, they're not in your life. Guess what? They get replaced because you're interactive in your life. It's the people that are contributing to your life. Obviously, if someone's giving you breadcrumbs, someone's giving you a 5-course meal, I'm not going to go where the breadcrumbs are. I'm going to go where the steak dinner is and the 5-course meal is. And you're pretty stupid to only hand me breadcrumbs eventually. And you don't even need to say that. You just be like, like, you're giving me so much less than what I'm deserving of. It's like, nope. It's like, that's why I'm saying. And let me tell you, if it happens within guys, and then you're like, okay, I'm not going to date for a while, then it will happen with friendships. It happens with everybody because you give too much. That's how your reading started. That you overgive, overdo. Your sensitivity is like that because you grew up with someone that was very like this. So being a people pleaser, being sensitive, being tapped into what other people want was a survival mechanism, but it'll be the worst thing when you get older because then people are like, oh, look, you don't have anything better to do with your life. You can just come in here and just do everything for me. And you're like, no, that's not what I want to do. But then they're like, but you don't really seem to have a problem. Like people then think that they can assign you like jobs or like or whatever they think that you're gonna do for them. And so you really have to like boundaries. Like I'd love to Tamara to drive you to your orthopedist doctor, but I can't because I'm going to tango dancing with Tyrone. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not available. I'm not available for you. It's like after a while, when people start asking you're not around, then it's like they stop choosing to love, right? And that's really meditation and prayer helps, but also having good, like I think like to go out and like invest in yourself, to really invest in yourself. Well, but not being, it's not uncommon to have detachment, right, from growth, from trauma. That's a natural thing. It's like, and it's like I don't downplay the meditation and prayer because I think that it's important and that there's time, but I feel like if you meet a person that you're really desiring, they're treating you like shit, meditation and prayer isn't going to do it. Like, it's no offense, God, what I mean. So I need something a little stronger, and something a little stronger, something that I'm going to be really like passionate about, something that I'm really going to enjoy, something that's going to connect me on a deep, intimate level with a person that they wouldn't just fuck me over because it was more than just what I could do for you or what you did for me. I've been feeling the push to get it. That's what I'm saying. It's like the wonder in you, the wonder in the world. It's like you don't even know what you would really want. You're settling for beans, is what Spirit's saying. It's like, and you don't even know it because you're like, well, I'm judging from like the environment that I grew up in where I didn't get enough. And how what I perceive and Spirit saying is like you're in the supermarket for a wedding gown. It's like it's not gonna happen. It's like even shoes, the best that you're gonna do is a shit pair of flip-flops, at the supermarket. There's either no selection because of where you're coming from. When you invest in yourself, you meet other people that invest in themselves, and then they're not gonna want they're not gonna want to be with somebody that doesn't invest in themselves. And you're like, oh, well, how'd you meet this person? Oh, I'm in Toastmasters, or I took this healing class, or I took it's I'm invested in my life. I'm having a love affair in my own life. So you have to then come in with, you know, you have to come in and offer me something. Otherwise, it's like, I don't have time for you. And it's not being mean. It's that, people want to come into your life and they want to take up your time. They want to take your money. They want to take your resources. They want to take your attention. And might not want to take your money, but your other stuff. So you have to be like, kind of like, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time. You don't get to sit at the dinner table if you weren't here. It's like, and sometimes guys don't even mean it, or girls don't mean it. People don't, everyone's coming from their level of consciousness. So you have to not take things personally, and you also don't take things personally, and you don't give a shit even if it is intentional that a person's doing, because you're getting your needs met, your emotional needs are met. And like I said, that's very powerful, because people, like, especially, I hate to single men out, but it's like, certain people have big egos and they don't want to surrender their ego. And so it can be really frustrating, especially when you know that you're connected to somebody that, you know, wants to manipulate the situation. It's like, it's a way that you detach. It's a way that you demand respect. It's a way that you, again, it can keep your vibration high. It's like, that's what Spirit's saying, is that you got to get strong within yourself at this point. Once you get strong within yourself, it's a game changer. It's like it's like the respect. I think that you do have respect for yourself, but I think it's about walking it. You know what I mean? Like, making, not automatically as soon as a person comes into your life, giving them all that free time, because you don't realize, they think, oh, you're always available, oh, now I'm going to have to entertain you, or you need for me to coddle you all the time. It's like this delusional way where it's not, that's not really what you're looking for. You're looking for a partner. You're looking for someone to, like, go out and explore the world, not someone to fill your cup up. You're supposed to fill your cup up all the way so that it overflows, so that whatever falls out of the cup, that's what you're giving. You don't never give out of your cup. And that's the thing. You're giving out half your cup and then being like, well, I'm always left. I'm always like, people disregard me. And Spirit says, because of that, it's like, that's how you reparent yourself. And that's, you get to see yourself differently. And once you see yourself differently, you demand more. You want more because you know that you're deserving of more, and you know how much you give in a relationship. So it's not being selfish. What it is saying, I know my worth, and understand, everybody fakes it till they make it in the beginning, because it'll feel wrong. Healing doesn't feel good, because you'll be like, oh God, it's like, I got to set boundaries, and I can feel that this person's going to get, upset. My best advice to you is, make sure that, you set boundaries, and then you focus on something else right after to cut that energy. Like, if you're really enjoying yourself, you get over it. It's like when your mom used to get mad, and then, you wound up talking to a friend, and then 15, 20 minutes later, it's like you didn't think about it anymore. Like, it was like, oh, like, you didn't think until you had to go home. Then you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta go home and face her. You know what I mean? But for that, time, you were like, didn't think about it. So I just need you to cut that energy. Nobody likes rejection, but the bottom line is that if we're coming from a place of feeling like there's something wrong with us, that rejection is so amplified. It's like, how can they, like, we're like, how could you do this to me? But when you're healed, you're like, oh, that's just your perception. That's mainly whatever that's your shit, actually, that you're projecting onto me. But that's okay. I don't care, because I'm over here invested in my life having a good time. That's the difference. Otherwise, the rejection can be debilitating. As a highly sensitive person, you overthink. And then those thinking becomes gives off a lot of emotions, and those emotions are like keep us stuck. And that's why Spirit's saying you don't have any ammunition. And like the ammunition is the fact of your life. Well, it's like I feel like that was a reoccurring karmic theme, and that's not it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, but you can't erase what happened in the past. However, you can those things that have happened in the past, those traumas that your ex caused in the past, can become things of the past. Like, yeah, I remember when he used to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, and I thought X and like A and B, but you know what? Now I realize that it's J and H. You know what? It's like I became wiser. And then you could be like, God, why did you give me this experience? And then God might be like, well, you always like to do the coaching. That's information that you could help people with. Or hey, you always wanted to be a speaker. It's that you're being guided. Want to be able to help. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying. But that's so you would have to again step into that role. And that's what Spirit was saying about doing the coaching, being an influencer. That's what I channeled in the beginning of your reading. That's a walk. That's how you actually heal yourself. You can't heal yourself until you become yourself. Because no one, what are you going to do? Are you going to heal yourself by doing affirmations all day long? It's not going to do shit. Not if you really have trauma where it's like, well, I grew up and it was wired into me that I feel like there's something wrong with me. It's like, no, you have to get into your body. This is a faith walk. And you have to say, well, every master is a disaster. That's how they start. They don't start off great. It's start off as horrible. Mastery comes in doing. We're all David going up against Goliath. God says, please don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike. Again, go out, find yourself, and find yourself for you is again retrain your nervous system. This is where it starts. Get into a daily practice, take classes on Udemy, get certified, take the somatic healing, take breath work. You need to do that anyway for yourself. I told you, talked about reconditioning your nervous system for at least 15-20 minutes. I know that I did, or at least 15 minutes. So you have to do that anyway. And so that's part of your path. And so don't fight the path. It's again, just do what you do. And then part of that is not just to get certified, but then you would have to step into the actual role. Yeah, like you have to step into the role of it, like embody it. Like if you're going to be a coach, what does that look like? Well, you should have a Facebook page. You should have an Instagram page. You should, again, with your little tidbits on here, again, create the persona, create yourself. It's again the imagination, the creative genius, the supernatural part of yourself, the God part of self is that supernatural part of yourself. And it starts with just an idea. And that idea is once you begin to feed it, it begins to grow, it begins to take on a synergy. And it's so much that it's what makes you a magnet for other things and situations. And then your mind can't be on what he's doing. Do you think you care if you're like, hey, Tamika, you got a free trip to Peru, the Amazon, Peru? You think if your ex says, listen, I don't really like the way that you parked your car, or you shouldn't have picked your son up, or at this time, or you shouldn't have done, you'd be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. No problem. I'll park the car right on the ceiling, whatever you want. I don't care. See you next week. That's what it would be like, because you're like, you became so small and insignificant in my life because my life is over here. where I'm going, what I'm doing, what's happening, and I'm cutting you out because you're like cancer. That's what it makes me feel like. And so, like I said, this is the way that you do it. You really like, and believe me, then it's not fun to trigger you anymore because you're not weak anymore. So it's like I'm trying to make you feel bad, and you're not feeling bad. So I can't sit here. So you know what happens? People leave your life. They would rather not see you happy. So they'll be like, all of a sudden, they block you on Facebook. They don't. I'm serious. I got a sister that I'm like, I never see your shit in my feed. It's like, oh, you can't deal to see, you cannot clap for me. You cannot clap for me because you don't want to do your own healing. So it's again, I don't put my energy there. I put it towards the people that are clapping for me. And I make sure that I clap extra loud. So, yay, I'm clapping for myself. And again, nothing more irritating for that person. Nothing more irritating because it's like you have to look at it for what it is, not for what you want it to be. And that person doesn't want to do it. So, like I said, you don't go to the empty well for water, you got to go somewhere else. Your best friend is a hypnotherapist, and we're always right, and that's the thing. But imagination and intention and all of that manifesting, they work hand in hand, but only when you ground it. Because again, we're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. You may be like, well, what the hell am I learning? And God says, well, you're supposed to be learning that you're not separate from me through seeing your life through all different perceptions. You're stuck and locked in a limited perception right now. You need to quantum jump into the reality that you want to experience. And you can shape shift it but you can't get rid of it, and that you have to transmute the energy, however, in order to shapeshift it. And that would be the actual embodying and the walk, the spiritual walk. And so that's hard because it's like, well, I'm going to be overstimulated. And then spirit says, not if you recondition your nervous system, you won't. It's like you have to condition your nervous system because, again, then you're, and in that breath you get the divine guidance, and there's always a call to action right after you get that divine guidance. So you're seeing the co-creation process, that it's actually you and the divine. That's how there's a path that's made where there is no way, that's just for you. Otherwise there's no way. And or you can try and emulate someone else, but God always says you can't copy someone else. You have to be authentic. Is again, it's got to be from the heart. It's how much heart you put into something is what it's going to be back. And we shoot for excellence, not perfection, because there's no such thing as perfect. God says, only God says it's perfect. However, we shoot for our own unique excellence. You're right on target with, and thank you, Spirit. Yeah, it always leads back to self, always, because you're only having a relationship with God and yourself. And God says, everything that's coming to you is a reflection of yourself. You'll be like, well, what the fuck was that? It's like, that's me. You're telling me that that's me. And Spirit says, imbalance goes to imbalance. So again, because you're like, wait a minute. It's like, I know that I'm not a narcissist. And you're telling me that I'm a narcissist. And Spirit's saying, no, but if you have no boundaries. See, the second chakra is either too much or not enough. So when people overcompensate, or when people have very low self-esteem, it's the same energy, not coming from the higher self. The higher self is God part of self, which is of unconditional love, which is the true self. That's like, hey, like it feels right to me. Is through finding myself. The thing is, you weren't allowed to find yourself. And that's because, as I said, strong parenting. He said, yeah, my mother was in the military. Yeah, it doesn't get any more discipline than that. That's as disciplined as you're gonna get. So it's not a blame game, but we have to realize it's like, well, I was conditioned in that environment, so I became very sensitive and intuitive, and those are gifts. However, It's like sometimes they could be a double-edged sword. So I really have to get strong within myself. I want to get strong within myself through creating a daily practice. Then should get certified. And then, right, and of course, the only child, so and not getting that love, that nurturing. When you're highly sensitive and you're a child, the child self is even more sensitive. So it's like, I was saying, yeah, like it's with being an only child and not having that nurturing. Well, then it's like you're even more sensitive because, again, not feeling safe. So really that's that root chakra again, where safety comes in the fact that we create our own safety. And that's through being really invested, like I said. Otherwise, it's like that inner child wound of not feeling safe, of being brought up by a parent that's really militant, that's really like, didn't make you feel like it was good enough, that scared you too much, is never really transmuted. And it's not like a blame game. You got gifts from living in that environment. Everything's perception. It's like now it's to take those gifts and ground them, because it doesn't, it's, who cares if you're intuitive if you're not utilizing it to create? That's why you have it. It's not to just read people like, oh, I don't trust you. That's discernment, but spirit says, which is important, but that shouldn't be running the show. For you, it's running the show. And then we see what we look for. The intuitiveness is, again, so that only in the now we get divine guidance on what to do, because you are allowed to say what you want to do, but you're not allowed to say how you're going to become it. And that's the problem. It's like you're like, I don't know how to do it, so I don't start. And the spirit says, you're not in charge of that part. You're only in charge of being like childlike and trying to become it, become by utilizing the broken structures that are in your environment. Nothing's going to be perfect. It's like when one door closes, another door opens, and you will, and that will be that. Oh, you can't hear me? How long was that? Great. Maybe it's on your end. I wonder. Can you hear me now? I feel like that TV commercial. Can you hear me now? Well, maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't go out fully. Maybe it just went out on your end. I don't know. Are you still there? Because we're actually at an hour and 7 minutes. So I'm going to have to wind it down. Is anyone else there? Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Is anyone there? It could be every time like the commercial comes or whatever. But we're an hour and 7 minutes over, so I'm going to wind it down. Anyone there? Probably commercial. I have a feeling that's a commercial. Whenever there's a commercial, that tends to happen. I don't know if anyone else is there, but I am going to wind it down because, like I said, we're over an hour. You didn't hear anything. Well, maybe again when you go back and listen, because I think sometimes it just happens on one end. Like I'll go back because it's like I said, we're at an hour and 8, 9 minutes, and I think that like YouTube, the connection after a certain amount of time, that's definitely what happens. Okay, because like I said, we are like, I'm going to log off. I'm going to wind down. Okay. So, like I said, I have a feeling that once you go and you like, once you go back and you listen, I'm gonna like see if I can hear. But I think that pretty much what it I was pretty much repeating what I was saying to you, which is you have to ground. You really have to ground in order to see that co creation process. And like I said, why even have intuition if you're not going to be grounded? We have intuition not just about our discernment, for our discernment, but it's really for the creative process. It's so that you can manifest. And so if you're not in your physical body and you're not interactive in life, you'll never see anything differently. You're not in charge of how you get to where you want to go. Like you may say, I want to be a coach. Well, your path is going to be different than mine. Your path is is going to be tailored to exactly who you are because the universe is going to bring you everything that you need. It's like, and that's through, and even you'll be like, I don't even know what I need though. Well, spirit knows what you need. That's the irony. So what you'll do is you'll be like, oh, I took this course because so and so took it and I was inspired, but it really wasn't for me. Like, and you'll be like, I don't understand it why it wasn't for me. And then what'll happen is you'll run into one that you weren't even planning on, and you're like, now this was, and this, because the universe says, I am in charge of how we get there. Now, was that a mistake? No, spirit says the more you learn, obviously, the better. It's a path. It's important for you to realize that you're allowed to say what you want to become, but and it's really important to try to become it with everything that's in your environment that makes it feasible to do so. So that would be your computer, certain platforms. But then it's also really imperative that you're not dead set on the path needs to look like this, because the path is never going to look like that. We're allowed to say what we want to do, but we're not allowed to say how we get there. And also, part of that is because only God can change your mind and your heart. And that's through bringing you the people, situations, and experiences that help you create you, that give you that support that you never felt you had, that gives you that unconditional love that you felt you never had. And that's how you treat everybody. You show people, I don't really need you for my entertainment. I can entertain myself. I'm really fulfilled myself. And you raise your vibration so high that once you become a magnet for those situations, because then God says, you don't think I know that you want to meet somebody? My plan is better than yours. Trust me. We've been dating the same like losers now for a while. You gotta like trust me on this and give the energy to yourself. I know exactly what you like. I know even your type. Trust me. And no, if people that think that they can't have it, they won't have it. People that get caught up in, oh, the age, the this, the that, this happened before, all that is a deterrence when you can't change any of it. However, you can change your future. And by putting the energy into yourself and letting the universe do its work, that's how you heal yourself. And is it magic? Some people say, oh, it's magic. And actually, God says, no, it's actually your spiritual sovereignty. It's my gift to you when I gave you the gift of the Holy Spirit, that you can create your life. However, if your mind needs to be healed, you need to heal your mind. And being with a narcissist, you don't need to just heal your mind, you need to recondition your nervous system. But that will bring you to being the best damn coach that there is, because you'll be like, no, 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 girl, I had to master that shit myself. And I know exactly that that breath work will not work for you because it didn't work for me. I had to start doing this breath work. It's like, and someone would be like, how did you know that, Tamika? Be like, my intuition just told me, because I used to have the same issue, and Spirit says that's what it is. So keep on it, keep on it, keep on it, keep on it. You can't fail. You can't fail. The not trying is a failure. Not believing, and not definitely banking on other things and not yourself. Bank on you. I promise you, if you continue, you'll see the energy shift within your life. But don't think that the devil isn't going to try and stop you. The worst thing is that, you know, that negative energy, so you have to build yourself strong and not let anyone stop you. But it's easy to do if you have, the support, because it'd be like, oh shit, I don't really feel like going to Pottery Barn today. And then, tomorrow it keeps calling out, hey, listen, I need a ride. You want to go into Pottery Barn tonight? You'd be like, I wasn't planning on it. But here you are, like asking me for a ride. And then, it's like you wind up going. It's like you need the support. Oh, come on, join that. Or I don't want to take that course. It's really boring. It's like, but you need that. You need that camaraderie. You need that love. You need that support. Otherwise, you'll never be able to like teach people how you want to be treated, because you'll always give too much, and people will perceive you, oh, what do you got going on in your life? They project, and you're like, you don't give them a chance. And that's how you do it. So I mean, can it happen? Yeah, like it's going to happen. That's got to be the attitude. But now it's to do those things that we talked about, to really see it. Because again, you're your own healer. I'm only allowed to give you the information. Again, God says, He wants to have the relationship with you. It's like, what, are you gonna play telephone forever? Like asking everybody else. It's like the walk. It's again, that's how you become strong, where it's like, hey, I can trust myself. How can you trust yourself? Because I listened to my intuition. I just saw that. It's like you need to see those wins. You need to again see the actual unfoldment process. It's okay to get readings. Everybody does for advice, but it's also to take the advice and to integrate it. Because it's again, when you do that, what you're saying is, hey, I love myself, God. Now you bring more stuff that's going to love me to me, because I'm showing you I love myself. I show it up for myself. And it happens. I'm telling you. You'll see. You'll come back and you'll say, I see it. I see it. And you'll say, and it wasn't easy either. I had anxiety about going to new places. It was hard for me to date because I always wanted to do. I had to recondition. And then you'll be like, but I wrote a book because of it. Like it said, that's transmutation. It's like taking that energy and doing something with it. That's going to help change you, change the world, to give and receive of love, your free will. It's like, it's a beautiful thing when you're again, know really how it works. It's like, because it won't take you the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, however many years you're on this planet, all those years to recondition the damage that you're like, oh, I'm never going to heal. Spirit says it can heal like that. It's like, because once I begin to bring you those situations that mirror the different reality back to you, your behaviorisms change, your habits change. See, it's our environment that creates our reality, because we form behaviorisms that are supportive in childhood, but then need to be reconditioned, especially the ones that we really held on to that were survival. And you grew up in that environment. So that's why it's difficult. And that is what alchemy is. It's pure alchemy. So you be the alchemist of your life, and so that you can then teach it. Believe me, the world's going to need it. The world needs it now. So you could be like, well, I'm not sure I'm going to have a job. God's like, really? I don't know if you know there's wars going on outside, and there's a lot of bad shit going on, and people have anxiety because they're like, I don't really know. And you're like, I suffered from anxiety. I had the same thing. God says, good, get on board. You're one of my soldiers. Get on board. You're like, me. I'm the soldier that lost my helmet, or I'm disorganized. Spirit says, eventually you'll become organized. Eventually, but there's a war happening now, and that's the war on consciousness. And it's again, so become yourself, and everything else will fall into place. I promise you that. Thanks for watching my channel. Please say a good word once this goes off, because once this live stream ends, all these comments go away. So it actually looks like it was actually only talking to myself, which is a real odd thing. Where really it's like there really are people here, So just I want people to play again, want to get a reading, I want the channel to grow. So if you could just say, hey, like I enjoyed the reading, if you enjoyed the reading, and I'd appreciate it. And thank you, and continue to watch my channel. And I appreciate you. Come back and let me know how it goes. But give it time. Give it at least 6 months. It takes time. Remember, when you plant a seed, it's not the next day. You don't see the seed grow from nothing. Hey, look, there it is. No, it's like you have to have patience. It's again in the mastery of it, and the path will unfold. Thank you, and thank you everybody else for being on and sharing your energy with me tonight. I'll talk to you soon, all right? Bye.